The Wall Street Journal is reporting the Trump gunman flew a drone over the rally site hours before the attempted assassination. I'm going to pause right now and just say that's impossible. That is impossible. I don't know. Modern drones won't even fly in secure zones. I don't know how this is possible. If you buy a modern consumer-grade drone and you turn it on, it will tell you before you can fly it, you have to download the map, which tells you where you can and cannot fly. It tracks no-fly zones, FAA rules and regulations. After you download it, if you were anywhere near anything like this, it says cannot take off. Now, it's possible. He had a really old drone from 10 years ago or something that he was flying, but this makes literally no sense outside of the technological hurdles. They allowed a drone to fly overhead and they didn't do anything about it. Okay, that's it. I don't see how anyone at any point could say anything other than inside job. Hands down, look. In 2011 at Occupy, I'm flying one of the first commercial grade drones and we hacked it to live broadcast using the software development kit. We pulled the data from the device while it's in the air and sent it to a laptop computer and then captured the video feed and broadcast it on the internet. For this, we ended up getting a bunch of attention. I ended up actually consulting with the university and the government on drone regulations and rules. And this is impossible. They let someone fly a drone. Let me tell you why it's impossible. The reason why we have the restrictions on drones, look at what's going on in Ukraine. They strap a very small explosive to a drone. The idea that they would allow a drone to fly anywhere near a presidential rally without putting in any kind of override is impossible. They let this happen. I don't get it.
Yeah, a 20-year-old shouldn't outsmart the national security state, but that's the official story that we're kind of being told to by the corporate media, that he somehow was able to get his hands on transmitters, also have explosives, also be able to wipe his phone. Is this guy like a tech genius? Is he the smartest man that's able to beat out the NSA's spying on every little single thing you do? I don't think so.
Don't forget he can be on a sloped roof, too.
Yes.
I mean, he's able to do that.
That's a lot of skills.
He's got anti-gravity boots,
This means that we're going to have to go and look at all of the other Trump rallies to determine when they're allowing flights over the president, which is nuts. But this implies that at a deeper federal level, it wasn't just the Secret Service who said, whoops, there's no guy on that roof. It is the FAA allowing drones to fly over it. I'm gonna pause and say this must be an old school drone pre FAA lockdowns. So I mean, it's nuts to me because look, even 10 years ago, they updated the drones. I'm talking 2014 and 15. All the drones got major updates that they could not fly because they were given FAA digital maps internally, which connected to their GPS, which would block them from flying in certain areas.
They also transmit their position too.
Yes,
a lot of the modern ones.
So the FAA did not put up a no-fly zone to restrict drone flight. The Secret Service and local law enforcement allowed a guy to launch a drone. They say the use of the drone was just one way in which authorities have said crooks planned his attack. How is this possible?
Could it have been the day before?
It says hours before.
Yeah. Tim, can I ask a question on this? Because I don't know.
This is right before the event.
I don't know anything about drones at all, really, because I don't have one. But could he have pre-programmed it to launch from wherever I am, fly in a certain direction, a certain amount of space, and then come back? Like the drone was never really referencing that.
That's not only if it's an older drone from like 2013, or maybe he hacked it, I guess. And that's the level of sophistication that I think I would be surprised by. Look.
He's an expert bomb maker.
What is this? A 20-year-old with explosive remote triggers, and drones that seemingly bypass. And some people have chatted saying that it's the FAA had no fly zone over there, and I'm like, what? How? Look. Go to Best Buy, buy a consumer-grade drone. It will not fly unless you connect it to the internet for an update first, so it can track FAA no-fly zones.
The Secret Service denied a FOIA request from America First Legal today. They're asking for information the identities of the Secret Service agents, all kinds of details about what's going on. And the Secret Service basically said, there's no urgency. You don't need this information. And I can understand kind of to be expected, right? They're a federal agency that's in the middle of something. Yeah. They're still getting their story together. On the other hand, I think it is amazing that we are still almost a week out from this and really the government has not been able to even present something that they could like, not even a story that we all would believe is a lie or a cover up. They're saying nothing, and they're denying all requests for information.
It's possible, as people are chatting, he built his own drone. Absolutely. And so the narrative is then the dude built explosives with remote triggers and he built his own drone. He flew his own custom built drone at a presidential rally in front of law enforcement and no one did anything. Dude, I'm sorry. If a custom built drone is flying around a presidential rally, you'd think they'd stop it. They'd say, we're going to figure out the source of this. Mr. President, do not go out on stage. We had a drone flying overhead and we can't identify where it's coming from. I'm sorry, dude. This is nuts. This is just they're not getting this one through on the story of some dumb 20-year-old figured this one out.
Yeah.
There's no way some dumb 20-year-old or some crazy kid who apparently what was he in a BlackRock commercial? Is that true?
That is true.
They filmed at his high school, right?
He was like a extra kind of. He was in the background.
And that's an aside. That's an aside.
Yeah.
But some 20-year-old kid with remote triggers, how do you make those? Where do you get them from?
Well, there's the story too about the second cell phone they found that has like, a handful of contacts, and now the FBI or whoever it's going through and trying to make contact with each one of those people. I mean, the initial story was this kid barely existed, right? He has no social media history. He has no friends and he never talked about anything and we don't know anything about him. And slowly we actually are getting details. There's